Hello guys, it's Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. So this is a review of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, and I'm going to be talking about Colt of Colt and Larissa and his new love Jessica. Please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel and also press the bell notification so every time I do a new video you'll know right away. And please don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoy the video. It really does make a difference to my analytics. So without further ado, Colt and Jessica. So first up, TLC treat us to the history of Colt and Larissa. Now unfortunately guys, I never watched Colt and Larissa in the first instance. They failed for some reason to show it on UK TV. I know, they give us Two Broke Girls, Hawaii 5-0, but they failed to give us Colt and Larissa. And so I've got kind of a feeling that they're going to be, I can see some good storylines coming up, and so I decided to start covering them. If any of you guys would like, I may go right back and start covering them right from the start. If anyone's interested in that, please let me know in the comments. So yeah, let me know. So we first see Colt and he's working out in the garage and he's talking to his mother Debbie. And I can see immediately his mother's an overbearing, an unbelievably coddling mother. Her name's Debbie Downer. And I'm watching him work out and I've got very good reason to believe that this is the first time he's ever worked out. And Colt explains to us when he got his divorce from Larissa, his mother was his rock. And he describes her as his best friend. And already, just from that description, I can see this relationship is going to be hella problematic. So Colt goes on to explain to us that 3 years ago he met Larissa and proposed to her within 5 days of meeting her. Mistake number 1. He also explains that before getting married, he had reason to call the police for domestic violence. However, he still went ahead with the wedding. Mistake number 2. He then goes to explain that the marriage broke down as Larissa couldn't accept his relationship with his mother. She also couldn't accept the laws of the land she'd immigrated to, and those pesky domestic battery laws kept on tripping her up. And by the time they finally got to divorcing, he'd had to call the police no less than 3 times, all for domestic battery. Oh Colt, you should have known the first time it happened, before you even got married. This girl's obviously cray-cray. Guys, as he's downloading this story, I kind of know I'm going to have to go back and do my research and watch the earlier episodes. There's no way around it. And so fast forward to the present time, and Colt, who lives with his best friend, i.e. Debbie Downer, his mother, decides to tell her that he's ready to start dating again. And guys, I don't know when I've ever seen a reaction like it. She starts rocking back and forth saying no, no, no. She's shaking her head. And I can see we're going to have major problems with this one. She says it's too soon for you to start dating. You haven't had time to mend your heart and you're going to make bad decisions. Debbie, I feel as if living with you is one of those bad decisions. And then she went on to say, I want you to be in love, I want you to meet somebody, and I want you to be happy. However, she meant to say, I don't want you to be in love, I don't want you to meet anybody, and I want to be enough to make you happy. And I can tell she does not want him to meet anybody else. Anybody that's going to take him away from her, I think she's going to see off. However, Colt has started dating, as we know. Jess, who's Brazilian, apparently slid into his DMs. And Colt's decided not to tell his mum, as she's Brazilian, and he says he's not ready to involve her in another heartbreak. Oh Colt, she'll involve herself in the heartbreak. She'll be the cause of the heartbreak. And Colt's planning to go and see Jess, who lives in Chicago, and stay with her for 5 days. So he's packing his suitcase and you can see his mum's dying to know where he's going, and he's very obviously not saying. And his mum says, oh, well have fun. And he went, yep, I will. Are you seeing anybody I know? And he says, no, no one you know. And he leaves without saying anything. Colt, because you've been so cagey, she pretty much knows you're going to meet another girl. And the mere fact that you can't tell your mum should tell you she's at least part of the problem. So he flies to Chicago, and when he arrives, he meets Jess in a pub. And guys, this was one of the most awkward dates I think I've ever seen. It's almost like both of them are forcing it, and it was super awkward. And Jess started lying immediately when she said she likes Colt because he's smart, and he's funny, and he has beautiful eyes. None of these things are particularly true. And he tells us they both like cats, and that's what they bonded over. What, you both like cats? Colt, put a ring on it quickly. You can't let this one get away. I'm glad to see after one failed marriage, Colt, you're taking meeting somebody new so seriously. And Jess was doing her best sexy eyes and her flirting. And she said, do you like Brazilian girls? And he said, well, yes. And he explains that he proposed to his ex Larissa after just 5 days, but he wants to learn how to date. And Jessica says, well, I'll teach you. And then she goes on to say, American men are really slow when it comes to dating and sex. Brazilian girls like to definitely kiss on the first date and maybe sex on the first date. And no sooner had she spoken those words when Colt literally downed his pint in one and said, "Come on, let's go to the hotel." And he rushed her out without a moment's notice. Oh Jess, just how desperate do you want to appear? And I can tell that all her sex talk means that she's just going to rush the relationship on as quickly as possible. She was excited they were going to the hotel to have sex, and she says, "I think now this means he's my boyfriend." She doesn't care what his personality is like. She doesn't care if they click or they get on. She's just trying to rush everything along, and it's very clear in this relationship that something's missing. You know, the laughs, the crack, the rapport, the crotch of Jessica's knickers. And as they're going back to the hotel in the taxi, he tells her that he hasn't told Debbie, his mum, about her. And automatically she's not happy about this. You've only met him once for a day in Las Vegas, and then you've been talking online. Why should he have told his mum about you? But the reason she's unhappy is because she wants to rush everything along, because really, she just wants her K1 visa. And she says, "It's really unfair that you haven't told your mum about me." And she tells us, "He's told me about Larissa already, and I can tell that she's crazy, but I'm different. Are you, Jessica? I've got a feeling you're going to be just as crazy. Maybe you won't pepper the relationship with violence like Larissa seemed to do, but you're going to be crazy in a different way." And that's everything for this first episode. So what does the earbud make from this? Firstly, I make that they're both forcing a relationship. I think that Colt has been looking online and he sees that Larissa has moved on, and he wants to move on as well. And it's very interesting when he was saying Jessica's everything that Larissa was not. She's fun, she's young, she's beautiful, and she likes to go out and party. Is that what you're looking for then, Colt? Because you seem to be, to me, an old stick in the mud. I can't see you going out. I can't see you having fun. You live with your mother, and by the time you're 18, you were already middle-aged. And it's my belief that he's saying this just to try and jab at Larissa. And I think she's forcing the relationship, because of course she wants a K1 visa. At the moment she's on a student visa and she's an au pair, but this runs out very soon and she just wants to stay in America. Just like Larissa, she has an American dream. And the second problem I see for these guys is Debbie Downer. Firstly, Cole has got no acknowledgement of his mum's role in the downfall of his relationship, and I'm sure she was a protagonist in the whole of the thing. As I say, I've yet to watch, but I'm pretty certain. And also, even her reaction when he said he's met somebody else, she was, no, as if it was the worst thing in the world. She wants to pretend that she's happy for him, but she definitely isn't. But he holds her on a pedestal. She's his best friend. And one of the first things he wants to bring up to Jessica, they're just about to go back to the hotel and have sex, is, "I haven't told my mum about you." Most people wouldn't even consider making that an issue. So it shows what a massive role his mother plays in his life. And the third thing is, Colt isn't thinking at all about what Jessica's motives are. She's trying to force everything forward because she wants that K1. And she's trying to have sex with him super quickly to say, "Oh, you're my boyfriend now, it's me and you." And this is most definitely going to be very problematic. So guys, let me know what you think down below. Do you think Debbie has Colt's best interests at heart? Or do you think she just wants to stay with him and live with him forever? Do you think that Jess is using sex as a tool to try and reel Colt in? I definitely do. There was no sexual chemistry there at all. And it was a very bizarre proposition, virtually a business proposition. It was awkward just to watch, never mind being there. And finally, do you want me to do a history of Colt and Larissa? Because I can do. I'm definitely going to watch them so I can put my thoughts down on a podcast for you. Let me know in comments down below. And my very next video is going to be another episode of Colt and Larissa. See you very soon. Please don't forget, make eBird a very happy eBird. Subscribe to my channel. And you can follow me on Twitter at Ebird99. And I want to say a big thank you for all of your support. I love getting all of your comments and I respond to as many as I can. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Ciao for now.